Joey, you guys came out with the win, but it didn't go well for the first three quarters and some change, but you were able to put up some strong drives towards the end of that fourth quarter. We just heard Coach Kinney talk about the crowd, how motivating that was for the crowd on those last two drives. Did you feel that? Did you feel the energy from the crowd? Do you think that played into those last couple drives?
Oh, of course. I mean, that atmosphere that it brings, it's astonishing. Like, you get down there, when something bad happens, they're booing. You know, when something good happens, they're cheering, they're all standing. That, especially on our defensive drive right there, that last stand. I mean, you turned around from the sideline if you weren't looking at the field, and everybody was standing, cheering, being as loud as they could. That's something that, gives us energy. And, we were struggling a little bit on offense, but the crowd kept going. They didn't back out. They didn't leave early. They were in there, and they just kept cheering us on. And if they have the grit to stay here while our offense is not performing well like that, then we should have the grit to go put it in the end zone. And once we did that, crowd got fired up. Defense got a good stop. Second drive, crowd still fired up, going crazy. We ended up scoring again. Didn't get the 2-point, which, happens, but the crowd still cheered their butts off. Kind of save the language there. But, they cheered, kept cheering, and it was great to be a part of.
When we were talking to GJ, he said that they were just really light in the box defensively, and so that's why there was a lot more running the ball. Is that something that you were seeing, and you think that was affecting how you guys were throwing the ball out there?
They did well. Game planning, we saw in film sometimes they got beat over the top pretty easily. They came in here not letting that happen. We hit it across the middle a few times, but those deep shots, we never really got. All of our explosive plays came from little shorter routes, just grit and pushing that ball down the field, play by play. But, they did well. They game planned well. They came out here and did what they planned for and practiced for, and we were able to push through that. So,
you're coming off this pick six, you're trailing 20-9. Just what was that sideline and just that huddle after that pick six? Just as y'all were preparing to get on that next drive.
Yeah, it sucks anytime there's a turnover in general, not even just a turnover into a touchdown, but turnover in general, we get a little upset, but once we know we're going in for that next drive, like as soon as we knew they scored and it counted and kick return was going out there, we walked over to the 25 roughly, and, it was next play, let's go. It doesn't matter what just happened, let's go score. We'll go own up to it. We'll drive down the field and get a touchdown.
The way just getting this fifth win, just how big is it getting this win as I head into the bye week?
It's huge. Second half of the season started, we just came off a loss. It was a loss that we could have and should have won, but it happened. And so we did have that chip on our shoulder. We came out, like we talked about in the past, not finishing when we get into that red zone. That's tough. We ended up getting points out of it, but we do need to get those touchdowns. But getting this win is huge. It doesn't matter how we got it, we got the win.
Coach was telling us that he drew up that last touchdown on the sideline. When he did it, what was going on through your minds before the play snap?
So it wasn't fully like he drew it up. We have a play design like that, and we just tweaked it a little bit, talked about it, switched our game plan from what we were doing in practice into what we did right there to score. And, I looked at Cole, and Cole's like, I got your back. He drove, got the corner and the safety out of there, and I was wide open. So.
And earlier this week, you talked about you and TJ's relationship on the sideline and the communication. Showed again tonight. Man, just talk about how he was able to be in sync again for another game.
Yeah, football IQ, it's hard to come by, but when you find two people, especially like TJ and I, where it's not just, I can beat them. It's, okay, I can beat them because I see this coverage, I see them rotating like this. If you do see it, I'll be there. And that's how we communicate. It's not just hey, just throw it up to me. It's why he should throw it up, or what he should see, or what he could see if he kept his eyes up maybe a second or two longer, even though that's not what he's technically supposed to do.
And the way the defense played tonight, I mean, especially on that goal line, getting those two big stops on the 1-yard line, how does that kind of want to get y'all going, on the offensive side?
When we put defense in positions like this where, we're not scoring every drive, even if it's not a field goal, and we're just getting stopped and have to punt, defense has that bend, don't break mentality. And I talk about it a lot that other defenses have against us where we're not able to finish in that red zone because we start thinking too much and we play a little differently. We play more safer, even though the coaches are calling shots. And so the players need to start, you know what, they're going to call the shots, let's make them happen. And that bend, don't break mentality our defense has, you know, it riles us up. Those stops on the 1 yard line, I mean, it's scary coming out from the 1 yard line, but, you know, our defense kept 7 points off the board. If we score that drive, then it's a 14-point turnover in terms of stopping 7 points and then gaining 7 ourselves.
Joe, what's to say about how much this team has grown, playing the way you guys played tonight? You know, offensively struggled a little bit, you know, a lot of drop balls, a lot of overthrown balls, just frustrating, I'm sure, for you guys. But what does it say about the mentality of this team to still go through all that and yet, you know, fight the way through it and come out on top?
Yeah, you know, football, it's a thing where mistakes are going to happen and will happen. It doesn't matter if it's an overthrow, if it's a drop, it's going to happen from receivers, it's going to happen from the quarterback. And so, like I said earlier, it's a play-by-play mentality where, dang, we should have made that play. We'll get mad at ourselves in the moment, but next time we line up, it's in the past. It's time to make a new play. And, you know, I think just being able to do that keeps this team together and keeps the offense riled up and makes it so no one looks down on each other. No one's like, man, what are you doing? Like, catch the ball. Like, no one's thinking like that. It's, hey, don't worry about it. You'll get it next time. We're going to keep throwing to you. And it's that mentality every time. And so the receivers have confidence. The quarterback has confidence. I mean, TJ, if he overthrows, we're not going to stop throwing the ball. We're going to, hand it off a few times, you know, let TJ calm down for a second, but then we're going to start throwing it again. And we give TJ the opportunity. He's going to make the best of it, or most of it.
The legend of Joe Dirt continues, man. What's it like just being a huge part of this offense?
You know, it's awesome. Anytime you're performing well for an offense or for a defense, you know, it feels good. And being able to do it in front of a home crowd like this, it's exciting. Coaches have faith in me and trust me. TJ trusts me. The other receivers, other players, you know, they all have faith in me and come up to me and they're like, hey, make a play, make a play. And so I'm going to go and do my best to make a play. And then after making that play, the whole stadium going crazy, it's a great feeling. So.
You know, this is the first 5-win season for this team since 2013. What does it mean for this team to, you know, get over that hump for so long? And now focusing on Troy, how does this team get to that 6th win to be bowl eligible?
Yeah, you know, it's great. The history, especially this more recent years, haven't been great at all. But you know, with this new team, it's not about just like, oh man, what happened in the past. It's let's go make history. Like this is a new team. We're going to show what this team is and not what it was. We're a new brand of Texas State football, and I mean, we're going to take back Texas. That's our whole thing. That's our motto. You know, every post you see at the end of every media clip, take back Texas.
Real quick, was this one of the craziest games you've ever been a part of?
It's definitely up there. It's fun, you know. Crazy is, I mean, football is crazy, so I feel like there's a lot of things that could happen, but it's definitely fun. I mean, it's scary when defense is put into a position like that, especially when offense isn't performing well, but, you know, they stood the ground, and right after when that quarterback ran out of bounds right there, you know, it was electric. Like, energy's wild up. You see people running onto the field from our sideline. You know, we're going crazy, and so it's a great feeling. It's super fun. It's definitely up there for one of the craziest games I've been a part of, but it was more fun than anything.